Just about every day, I get emails and comments from someone who says they were given bad advice by the Social Security Administration. Now, this seems confusing to a lot of people because it does seem that the advice you get directly from the government agency that runs the program should be beyond question. The best advice you can get. After all, who knows the program better than those who work with it every day? Unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. The folks at the SSA don't always get it right, and the Office of the Inspector General painfully illustrates this in the results of audit after audit after audit after audit. And there's a long trail of people who have been receiving the wrong benefits for their entire life that are paying the price for this negligence. And it's really sad. Now, don't get me wrong here. There are some really good people who work with the public in processing claims at the administration. Now, many of these people are professional, they're kind, and they truly care about the people they are helping. Now, that's certainly not descriptive of all of them, but the technicians I've come into contact with are mostly good-hearted people who just feel a bit overwhelmed with the workload they have. They simply don't have the time or the training to give quality advice. And this is one of the reasons their own manual prohibits them from giving advice. It says, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Now, that doesn't leave a lot of uncertainty. They have a direct rule which prohibits them from dispensing advice, so it shouldn't take any of us by surprise to find out that when they do give guidance, it doesn't always have the best result. But maybe asking them to provide advice is really asking too much. The administration has no way of knowing enough information about you and your situation to help you make an informed decision. They can help you consider your other assets and income streams to determine what filing strategy is most optimal. Just imagine for a moment that you got all of your income forms and deductions together in a shoebox and dropped it off at your closest IRS office. Would you really expect them to go through it and figure out, based on your unique circumstances, what the best strategy was for you? Of course you wouldn't. Now, that may be an exaggerated example, but the same principle holds true with the administration. The technicians there just don't know you well enough or have the time or expertise to understand your situation to the extent it takes to give you good advice. To make good decisions about your Social Security, there are two things you need to do. First, you need to learn all you can about Social Security. Understanding the basics of the program is going to keep you protected when you're dealing with the administration. Now, most of the technicians that you work with will have good information on how the program works, but to be able to get the information out of them that you need, you're going to have some knowledge. If you go in there blind, just trusting them to give you the information that pertains to you, you could easily be led down the wrong path due to a misunderstanding. Now, in some ways, I know this stinks. You're approaching the end of your career. You've crammed a lot of knowledge in your head over the years, but now you have to learn something else. But I'm telling you, unless you take the time to learn the basics of the system, you're going to make a decision that's less than optimal. One of the best ways to learn more about the system is to watch the videos that I have on my channel, or even buy my book, Social Security Basics. In addition, I have a webinar that's free on my website. You can go to devincarroll.com, and it's how to determine the right age to file, where we walk through the 10 factors that everyone needs to think about before they file for benefits. The second thing you need to do is, once you feel like you understand the basics of the system, you need to get some professional help. Look, with all of the information we have online, there is no end to the things we can do ourselves. For example, there are instructions on the internet for extracting your own teeth. You can even find videos of dentists doing this to themselves. And then you can go over to Amazon and you can even get the tools that you need to do it. Now, that doesn't make it a good idea. Filing for Social Security is not a whole lot different. There's a lot on the line, and if you want to make sure you get all the benefits you deserve, you need to realize this is not a DIY project. There are thousands of possible filing combinations and nuanced rules that make each situation different. It's very clear that you need to get professional help before you file. Now, you can get that help from my team of registered Social Security analysts. You can get started with a free 15-minute consultation where they'll listen to your unique situation and let you know how our plan can cut through the complexity and give you clear direction on your filing strategy. And if you want to check that out, there's a link down in the description where you can go in and schedule a call. So once you've learned the basics of the system and reached out to my team or someone else that knows the ins and outs of how to advise you, the next step is going to be to visit with the Social Security office. Now, let me give you a pro tip here. You may want to consider recording the conversation. Now, this isn't to catch them in a gotcha moment, but there's going to be a lot covered in this discussion you have with them. Their employee's manual directs the technicians to aim for complete information at initial contact to avoid a subsequent interview. So they are trying to get your claim finished while you're in that first meeting and not let this carry on to a second or third meeting. So there's going to be a lot going on here, and recording the conversation is going to allow you to listen to it later and make sure you understand everything that was said. And don't let them tell you that recording is not allowed. I know it may be a little uncomfortable, but again, from their employee's manual, it says the applicant may audio record telephone or in-person contacts with SSA personnel. Employees should not suggest or encourage the use of recording devices. So recording the conversation is permitted and may be extremely helpful when you're trying to recall details later on. So if you've been expecting to get advice from the Social Security Administration, it's just time to discard that idea. You're going to have to learn the basics of the system and consult with a professional if you want to make an optimal decision. If we can help, my link is in the description. Thanks for watching.